Hello there. My name is Mark the Canadian Jedi, and this is episode 111 of Holocron Chronicles. I'm joined as always by my lightsaber shirted co-pilot. I love this shirt. It is fantastic. Charlie, how you doing tonight?
You get to love it, but you don't get to have it because my wife made it. Yes, she did. No, I'm doing good.
So good.
I got this. I have a Guardians of the Galaxy shirt, and I have a beautiful Starfleet Star Trek shirt that my wife made for me. Only took a year of pestering, which, to be honest with you, a year is good. A year is it could have been 5. So I'm happy with the year. But yeah, I'm good, man. I loved watching. We're going to talk some more Andor this time, which I'm fired up about. We're on segment 3 of 4. I'm glad that we're getting the time to explore this the way that we are. But we have a guest, a guy that I've not seen in a while, and not only that, has not been on the show in 4 years.
Almost exactly 4 years. We didn't plan this.
Yeah.
We didn't time this. Joseph Moran, Mr. Badbit, welcome back to the show. So the last time you were on, unless I missed one, but I checked back through the feed. I was scrolling back pretty quickly this morning. Admittedly quickly. But we talked about your lightsaber collection, and that was on June 9th, 2021, when that episode dropped. So that's a couple of, we are days away from it being almost exactly 4 years.
My goodness.
Wacky.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Because like I said, I checked the last time you were on this afternoon, and we arranged this, a month ago?
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to claim credit because I was looking at Blue Sky, which I believe, Joe, that's where you're the most active. And you were talking about Andor, and I said, we got to have you on the show. And you blew, this was like last week. Yeah. This was last week. And you were like, I got to be on. And Mark flies in. You're on. And then here we are. So I'm a claim. That's me. That's me.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful way to reconnect over what for me is the very best that Star Wars has ever done, which is this show. That's what I think. I'm on record.
I love the juxtaposition of last time you came on and we just geeked out about lightsabers for an hour, and this time you're on and we're talking about a show that relishes in the fact that there's no lightsabers.
Except for my shirt. That's it.
Very
just my shirt.
Far ends of the Star Wars spectrum. But I'm so happy to have you on, Joe. It is an absolute pleasure.
Yeah. An honor and a privilege, especially talking about these next 3 episodes, which it's just the best.
I know.
There's no words.
Well, we're going to get there right after I do this because, you understand, Joe, there's a segment of the show where you're paying the bills, but doing it with gratitude because we're talking about the wonderful folks on our Secret Friends Unite Patreon squad. These are wonderful folks that get exclusive programs, early shows, no ad programs, Discord benefits for as little as $2 a month after having a free week, and after having your first month at half off. Wonderful people like my buddy Derek Trevelyan here in EGR, the figure dude, Francie, who does my wife's hair, Luke Lore, Mr. Xbox Expansion Pass, and my wonderful Uncle Tim down there in South Haven, Michigan. Also, John Sedorf, Brendan Myers, Corey and HD, Matthew Keel, my friend Kurt Krug, who helps us with all those great interviews that you hear on Spotlight, not only on our free feed, but also early on our Patreon. My friend Tanya Lee, Chipotle Bear, famous Seamus, there up in your neck of the woods, Mark.
I saw him last weekend. He's awesome.
Yes, awesome dude. Jay Newport 007, who we're going to circle back to in a second. Cam the Movie Man, and Brian Osterman, a.k.a. Darth Prozac. Now, when we jump back to Jay Newport 007, this is your special time, friend, because you and Joe, you can jump in or you can abstain if you wish. This gentleman is getting a Star Wars race and a Star Wars occupation chosen by us, and usually by me. It's on the fly. That's why I let Mark go first. Mark, please.
Somehow they got deleted from the show notes, but I'm going to pick it up and throw a shout out to the amazing Super Friend Secret Squad or Secret Friend Super Squad of the Nias family, Sean, Stella, and Henry. You guys are awesome. This is an exciting week for us. I was talking to Sean the other day about the Switch 2 launching. Can't wait to do some Switch chat with you and the fam. And yet don't know how that got cut off the show notes. It's probably a copy paste issue from me.
Yep. No, it was me. I was the one who put this in here. Okay. So I'm guilty.
Got it.
All right, yes, carry on.
Let's circle back. J. Newport 007, Star Wars race and job. I'm trying to think of a race here. And you know what? I'm going to go on the 007 with this one.
I think I did that over on Code, so I got it. Or, yeah.
And I'm thinking something that James Bond loves are very attractive ladies. And I think some of the most attractive ladies that we've seen in Star Wars are Twi'leks. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say J. Newport 007 is also a Twi'lek.
Oh.
Because, you know, they're an attractive bunch.
There was the real sexy ones in the Book of Boba Fett that worked in Gartha. Yeah. It was a Garza Thwip. Was that her name? In the pleasure dome that she ran in the city. They had the handsome gentleman. So yeah,
absolutely.
Good to be buff.
So that's I'm going with that for species, and you know what? I'm going very similar. I'm going like specialized bounty hunter for the occupation. Maybe not quite secret agent, but I don't know if have we seen like, I guess secret agents in the Rebellion or in the Empire, you would get like very specialized troops and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But for this one, I'm going with highly specialized bounty hunter, because I think that's a little bit more exciting.
Special bounties.
I think it's a little bit more.
Actually, can I jump in here?
You want to jump in?
Please.
I'll go last. Please. Take it. Fly.
No, I think he's an Imperial. So we're going 007. He's an Imperial, but we're going to do something. We're going to do a different slant. Okay.
All right.
Instead of it being rebellion focused, he's targeting on getting into the cartels.
Ooh,
that's what he's all about.
I was thinking cartels as well, but yeah.
He's all about the spice life. You know, he's here to try to infiltrate it, try to see who's running it, all that good stuff. You know, maybe run into a few bad eggs along the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, plenty.
I like it.
I'm thinking. I think in particular. Let's see if I can reach him. Hold on. The very fabulous Prince Shizor. That's what it makes me think of, because Prince Shizor was had the pheromone powers with the ladies.
Yes.
Okay. And 007, James Bond, had his own power with the ladies. So I tend to think that our friend is, and I'm drawing a blank on it's the Black Sun is the syndicate. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the race. Anybody help me out?
I got nothing.
I'm drawing a blank, but I'm thinking 007 is a member of this race. He's got those pheromones. He seduces
Faline.
Yeah, F-A-L-E-E-N-E. Very good, very good. But yeah, I think he's a Faline, potentially a contemporary of Shizor here, or maybe the guy who succeeds him, because at the end of the Shadows, he was out of there. But yeah, that's my vibe, is that he is a contemporary and a crime lord and a seducer of ladies with the pheromones. So yeah, way to go. Way to go, Mr. Newport. I like it.
J. Newport 007. If you agree, disagree, what's your favorite? Let us know in the Discord chat. Rip us apart or give us a thumbs up for your assessment. What do you think? And if someone wants to get theirs, if we've somehow skipped you, or you just want to try it out, just give us a try for a month over on patreon.com/secretfriendsunite, and you'll get yours assigned. So
don't miss out. Tons of great content. We've had so many awesome interviews with our Spotlight. We have a lot of other great programs. Todd and I, Todd is our third partner. We do a great comic show called Spinner Rack. There's a lot of stuff to enjoy. So please, again, as Mark said, patreon.com/secretfriendsunite. Try it for 7 days for free. Listen to some shows. I think you'll end up sticking around. All right. And as noted, we're over on YouTube. We would love to have you subscribe, check us out, rate the show. Same thing goes with any podcast app that you use. If you're on Apple in particular, give us 5 stars, write us a review. It does help the show out. It pushes up our visibility. You know, we would love more people to experience you guys enjoying our show. So please feel free to pop out and do that. So, all right, let's move it along. We need to catch up with Mr. Badbit. We need to find out in 4 years, what Star Warsian things have we missed?
Yeah. Oh man. Let's see. Well, you, what question you want to shoot at me first? Go for it.
Yeah, let's go. I think let's start right at the start. How did you get into Star Wars? Most people know you online from the video game world. Star Wars is another passion. How'd you find Star Wars?
I mean, it's the one shared thing that like I speak on the trophy room, where it's like, listen, as much as I love games, as much as I love, PlayStation, all that stuff, Star Wars is above all of it. I love that universe. I love all the characters, and truly, even the bad movies, the prequels, Rise of Skywalker, they're still fun. And they're still...
I find bits I enjoy, no pun intended.
Yeah, like they're still fun. And if you love the prequels, that's great. If you don't like the prequels or whatever, like, that's great. I'm not here to yuck your yum, right? I joke. like I don't like the Rise of Skywalker in the slightest, but if that's your favorite Star Wars, that's your favorite Star Wars. I'm not going to fight you on it.
Wow. I'd be impressed to hear somebody make that argument, but I believe it exists.
That said, though, Star Wars has just always been around. So I can't pinpoint an exact memory. It's just always been there. And I remember us getting the VHS tape collection. Like, it came in the gold and black tin with Vader's face on it. Yeah, and it accidentally fell downstairs. My brother yelled at me real bad about it. Told me I broke them.
Oh no!
Listen, they worked. Special editions, baby.
I was just gonna say, did it still work? Yeah. Okay. All right.
It's the VHS tapes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they could take a beating. So yeah. No, I love Star Wars. It's always been there. It's my comfort food.
Yeah. Cool.
You listed a couple that are not your favorite movies.
Yeah.
Which Star Wars thing is your favorite? It doesn't have to be a movie. Could be a game,
Andor.
a book, a show. Okay. Bam.
Andor. It's literally art. Like, listen, Star Wars is great, right? They're like, Star Wars is fantastic, and they're some of my favorite movies. But none of them are the best movies ever made. You know what I mean? There's no Citizen Kane in here. Yeah, there's no Godfather in the bunch, but they're special in their own unique way.
Oh yeah.
That being said, Andor is literally art. It is literally the best show I've ever seen. And for example, my 2 favorite shows ever made were Ted Lasso, because of its enduring optimism, and Breaking Bad. Oh my God, is just stellar.
Also enduring optimism.
Yeah.
Of making meth. And both those shows are incredible, but the writing on Andor is so great. It's in a league of its own.
Yeah.
Oh
so
my
great.
God.
You want to know why Joe and I click so well? Because right back there next to my lightsaber is a tiny little Ted Lasso.
Hell yes,
and don't forget, I'm going to throw myself into the mix. You have a beautiful set of Ted Lasso glasses that I found for you.
I do.
And shipped to Canada.
It's right over there.
They were on a clearance end cap of a shop called Meyer, which we have here in the Midwest, which is a purveyor of all great things. So yeah, absolutely. But I thought of you. I went back to get a set for myself because I was late to the party with Ted Lasso. I finally fell in love with it when it was almost over. But now I love it very completely. Yes, absolutely. I got you.
Yeah, it's stellar. But Andor, if I had to say movie, that's where it gets tricky, and that's where it constantly changes. But for me, I do think my nostalgia says New Hope. My inner critic in me says Rogue One.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
I'm Empire, but I'm Empire to Rogue One. Rogue One pushed Jedi out of my top 3 without a doubt, because I was OT with that, because I was born in the 70s. I saw Empire was the first movie I ever saw. I was 4 years old. So yeah, I was stuck in that jam, but Rogue One pushed him out. it absolutely pushed them out. So
Yeah.
I got you.
And I here's my most controversial take, because people think Disney ruined Star Wars. No, Star Wars Theory ruined Star Wars. The YouTube commentator ruined Star Wars.
Yup.
Disney's actually here you go. Let's fight on this. They have a better track record so far than Lucas. There you go. Here you
Well,
go.
by the averages, because they've made a lot of content.
They've made a lot.
They made a lot, but on the average, they can make bad.
Oh, they can make awful.
And they can make good.
Yeah.
But when they're making a lot of content, you have a chance for more of the good than the bad, as opposed to what came before. So I'm with you. It's not controversial to me from a critical standpoint. You're right on. A lot of Star Wars fans aren't great at being critical. They're it's very nostalgia goggly, and that gets dicey.
And that ruins the franchise. Is why I love Andor so much. But also, it's like one of the reasons like I love first off, Dave Filoni, and we trust. But like, the Mando verse, I adore. I get it. Season 3, a little hit or miss, a little wonky. I get it. Jack Black shouldn't have been in it. But but like Ahsoka is also one of my favorite Star Wars things, because it just gets the essence of the samurai Kurosawa, like
right. Which again ties back to what Lucas did at his best. The prequels being what Lucas did at his worst. But yes, absolutely. So, well, we better keep.
There's even a resurgence coming out now. I've seen some things. Take The Acolyte was pretty universally panned, but
maybe I'll take the Disney thing back.
But there were some great parts in there. Yeah. I don't think there's anyone that's saying they don't want to see any more Plagueis. The Stranger, we want to see more Chimera. We want to see, like, that show brought some great stuff out. It had some epic problems, but I think a spin-off taking some of those characters and continuing the story that people actually care about and want to follow, which is the dark side, the rise of Plagueis.
Yeah.
How this all goes. More Chimera. Yes, please.
Dude, he was awesome. That whole look, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Dude, he was
the saber fighting, the cortosis, everything, like
leading of the lightsaber was so awesome.
Yeah.
Incredible. And then just bogged down by a whole bunch of other bullshit.
Bad acting, bad CG.
Yeah,
bad pacing, bad writing.
Did I say bad acting? Bad Green Lady. The Green Lady and her apprentice. Holy shit!
And the Green Lady was a nepo hire, because that was the showrunner's spouse.
Wife.
Yeah. That was it was, and the showrunner in general kind of had a bad attitude. The whole thing about it, I want to make a Star Wars people hate. Okay, great plan.
You succeeded, great.
Yeah,
but it's so funny that all Star Wars. There's something there in even the worst of Star Wars that the fans, after a little time, will say, can we get more of that, please? Like, I remember, and Charlie, I know you remember, and might still, but like, no love for the prequels, but they're some people's favorite movies. You see these things come, and it's prequels are Star Wars to me.
It's all a generational deal. No, there's no doubt about it. Whatever you glom onto, but
it's wild.
And that is and again 1818 exactly in Star Trek. Very much the same thing. People have theirs. I'm an old guy. I love the original series. I'm a Gen Xer. I love TNG. I'm a Zennial. I love the Golden Age stuff, the Discovery or whatever it is. Give something for everybody, but you don't need to. Joe said it the best. You don't need to yuck someone else's yum. You don't need to pee in someone's Cheerios. Leave it alone. Let somebody enjoy. Let somebody love. Exactly. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I appreciate it.
Joe, back to you.
Yes.
Is Andor also your favorite character, or do you have a different favorite with that being your favorite thing? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
We'll breeze through the rest of these.
Yeah. Yes. No.
Yes.
So
Lights out a dark sword. Cassian.
Cassian Andor.
He's both. He's very great.
Sith or Jedi, Cassian. No. Yeah. Definitely Cassian. After this.
Yeah.
He's in. Jesus Christ. He's the messenger. And without him, there's nothing. Anyway. But like after him, here's where give me the hate. I don't give a fudge. All right. You give me
nothing but
a
love.
Hispanic in a Star Wars, they're gonna probably be my favorite character.
Yeah.
No, dude, Mando is then my second favorite character, and then
Yeah.
we get to probably either Yoda or Han.
Right.
Ooh,
Nice.
very
Keeping it roguish.
different
Keeping it
levels there.
gray.
As the
'Cause even-
either or kind of thing. That's,
Even you-
I don't
even
like
you-
to say Luke or Vader because it's like that's so cliche
Yeah.
to me. It's like
Yeah.
Vader's just in his own he's in his own atmosphere, dude.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
You know?
But both
Whole
Yoda
other-
and Han
whole
are very,
level.
very gray characters. You know,
Yeah.
they act in self-interest. They're a little fuzzy
Yoda's
sometimes.
more green, but they're
Yeah.
gray. But
Yeah.
Gray green. He's gray green. I like it. Like the Hulk.
Love it.
Yeah, there
Love
you go.
yeah. Light side or dark side? I think I know
Light-
where you lean. I
Like
can't
meat,
remember the
light
answer from
meat or
last
dark
time.
meat. Go for it.
Man, as much as I would love to be a Sith, I think the light still urges. Like it's after watching Obi-Wan, and that's my favorite fight, by the way.
Yeah.
And seeing
Oh.
him throw rocks at Vader.
I watched.
Oh,
just,
yeah,
I watched just that episode recently. I don't need to see the rest of the show.
No,
I watched just that last one. Yeah,
It's
I
so
just need
good,
to see
dude.
that. Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway, but yeah, no, yeah, light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a brief moment of time I was trying to crack how to make a tattoo of that scene, but it always looked too much like Jesus
Yeah,
with him with his
like
arms
this.
out and the rocks, and I couldn't because I didn't want it to be I was trying to stylize it in a certain way, and it was gonna go here, so I ended up doing the Mando and Grogu tattoo in the spot that I was kind of thinking about it, but
Yeah.
but I have some sketches on my iPad and in various places because I was always like sketching. Oh, what if I did it in like line art? What if I did it in like one continuous line? But I was drawing out tattoos for like that specific scene of like Obi-Wan just like here have a rock to the face
Yeah.
or a dozen
Bonk.
rocks to the face.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
Great fight. Last time we talked all about lightsabers.
Okay.
So I'd like to hear as a recap what your favorite lightsaber design is and what your lightsaber color of choice is.
Okay.
You have quite the collection.
Yeah, lightsaber. Yeah, we have quite the collection. I'm trying to think though, man. I love Cal Kestis's.
Hell yeah.
But it's just because you get to mix and match it so much. So if I have to go through, I mean, sounds cliche. I think Luke / Anakin's.
Yeah. The hero saber. Yeah. I like that one.
It's the hero, and I like the cayenne color from A New Hope.
Nice.
I think that's the color for me. I keep going back to it. It's just I don't know. There's something pure about it.
Yeah.
And if I wanted to be very different, but also I don't know, it would probably be Ahsoka's sabers. A very close second. Very close second.
Ahsoka the White. I like it. Yeah. Nice.
I just love it. There's just straight up katanas in a Tanta or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's dope.
Fantastic answers all around. I think I'm guessing it'd be your lightsaber collection. Do you have another favorite Star Wars collection that's not or collectible that's not lightsabers?
That's a good question.
Because I don't want to torture you picking a favorite lightsaber.
Yeah, no.
From your collection.
From my collection, there's nothing else I collect other than steelbooks.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But if I had to choose from our collection, we got a couple of Obi-Wans that are really cool. Yeah,
that's a tough one to have as a collectible too, because you can either choose it to be screen accurate or you can choose it to function.
Accurate. Yeah, it's screen accurate.
Because of the thin little neck, it's very, very hard to do in a lightsaber that can function with a blade attached that can light up, that can do all that stuff. You'll see a lot of the collectibles with a screw off top. So when you want it to light up, you screw on like the thick boy kind of, cheating.
Yeah,
top
ours
kind of
is like battle damaged.
Oh, nice.
It's weathered. Yeah,
nice.
It's cool. It's really cool.
Nice.
It's fairly
That's awesome.
accurate as well. Yeah,
excellent. Fantastic.
Cool.
And a question that I don't know if I asked you last time.
Okay.
Star Wars, basically just suffering, tragedy, laser swords, awesome ponchos,
belts and boots, jackets.
If you were in the Star Wars universe, what hilariously stupid way would you perish?
Oh, what hilariously stupid way. Oh, man. I think I'd trip on something and the blaster would go off. Like I'm a Mandalorian and I trip and like the
shoot yourself in the
sniper
dick.
shoots me in the head. Yeah.
Well, it's better than Mark's was he gets eaten by like a
Oh, I
Neku,
would 1000% be like pss, 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 pss,
I would
to
get
a creature I shouldn't.
I would get drunk and get sexually involved with a Wookiee or something. It would be sex related with me.
Fair.
I'm sorry. It's me. I'm an Irishman. It's what we do.
No, 0% chance that I would not be like, oh my God, look at that big puppy. And someone would be like, that's a lava breathing kill beast.
Yeah.
That's a murder kitten.
Right.
Please don't go anywhere within a 500-meter radius. And I'd be sprinting towards thing, being like, come here, let's snuggle, and just get instantly killed.
Oh my gosh.
So that fantastic, Joe. Thanks for running through those again. There's definitely some new questions, retread some old ones, but it's always good for new listeners to learn about it. Little tiny bit of news. I know we've been skipping news the last few weeks to just focus on Andor, but I did want to touch on this one because I think it's kind of big. Maybe.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill has said, I had my time in the Star Wars franchise. I have no plans to return as Luke Skywalker. They should focus on the future, focus on all new characters. This was from a recent interview with comicbook.com. What do you guys think about this? What do you think? Like, he doesn't want to return as a Force ghost. He wants the Rey movie or movies to focus on the new characters.
I gotta tell you, this is a breath of fresh air, and he's absolutely right. I have wanted to see. I have no compunctions about the character returning because, again, if you look at Filoni, if you look at what he's trying to structure, bringing together, the Avengers team to fight Thrawn, which is going to be ultimately what's going to come out of Ahsoka. It really can't, is Alden, and maybe Alden is Han Solo. You have Childish Gambino. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? Mm-hmm. Him as Lando. And Glover, and then you have Millie Bobby Brown as Leia. I don't know, or somebody. And then I've always wanted Sebastian Stan to be Luke, but I don't know. I don't know if that's an age out issue. But God bless you, Mark Hamill. I've loved you my entire life, and I like that you have this wisdom to say it's time for me to move on. I think more he's saying the saga needs to move on, which is something that Aksha and I say all the time. Get us out of this era, this what did Lando have for breakfast the day after Empire kind of era, and move into this sequel trilogy and move beyond that, or play in that space before and just move the story forward. So much more story to tell, but it doesn't have to just continue to be him being deep faked or him being de-aged, and you just got to let it go. So I think good for him.
There's one thing that I think it is time. I think I love Solo. I really enjoyed Solo. I thought it was a very good movie.
Gets a lot of hate. I hate it. I don't like it.
I know. But now it's the revision. It's just constant Star Wars fans. Actually, I think he's good now. It's like, shut up, guys. Shut up.
Right. Because they haven't had a movie. So you start to get, you don't have the heroin in your veins like, oh, it was a movie and I missed it.
Exactly.
You're single for a while and your ex starts to look really good. And
maybe we could make it work out after all.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will remember you, like that kind of shit. It's like, God, Jesus.
I think we're at the point though where like these actors are getting older, and I think the audience is beginning to understand they do want a film or two with these characters still, and they understand that it can't be. It's not Luke, but it could be. I like Sebastian Stan. I think is perfect. He's 42, and I think he could. And all you need to do is digital his face, maybe a little bit. But he's a tremendous actor. He could be Luke Skywalker.
Right.
Luke, and that's fine.
Look at it from a comic book perspective. How many Batmans have there been? We're about to get another Superman. We're getting a new Fantastic Four. All those characters, because they age out.
Truly, I don't think we care anymore.
Yeah,
it's
as
fantasy.
Long as let it be a fantasy.
I don't think the hardcore fans care, but you do need to extend the olive branch by listening to at least one of their castings, which I do think is Sebastian Stan, because he can he could be Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Not just the look, but like when you can see him transform into like Donald Trump and you go, whoa, like
Right.
Oh,
he
yeah.
can
He's
he
got the
could pull
chomp.
that
Yeah, he's got
character.
the chomps. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so like, yeah, I think as long as you listen to the fans, even just the hardcore ones, will go Sebastian or nothing. Yeah, he's in.
Yeah.
And I don't think he has that same problem. And if Mark gives him the blessing as well, going, guys, he's it, then awesome.
Right.
I do think that we are ready, because I think we are almost done with these characters, and hold out for what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
I think the last, sorry, not Last Skywalker, the Last Jedi was. I understand when people think, oh, that's a slap in the face to what Luke is. I wanted to see Luke with the laser sword chop down all those guys. I wanted to see that, and I didn't get to see that. Here we go. Here's Sebastian Stan. He could do a whole bunch of stunts. He's got stunt doubles.
He's
He
your
can do
guy.
those things.
Let him
And I
do
think
his
we
thing.
do need that scene. Where a
Yeah.
scene where we do see him
A
do
closure.
really badass
Yeah.
shit.
You're kind of Luke closure.
I think
Beyond
that's
what we
why
saw in
season
Mando. Yeah.
3 of Mandalorian couldn't top season 2, because we
Right.
got that bit. We saw that glimpse of Luke Skywalker in his prime. We watched Moff Gideon shit his pants at the sight of
Really?
an X-Wing, because he knew that X-Wing belonged to the guy who single-handedly walked into the Death Star in a room with Vader and Palpatine and walked the fuck out.
And that's
Nobody
the thing.
else can, yeah.
Like, real talk. I
That's the
wanted
Luke
to be
Skywalker we want.
I like when Thrawn finds out that Ahsoka's been trained by Luke Skywalker. You see it in his face. Anakin.
Anakin.
You
yeah.
see it in his face, like throw everything. Like,
Yeah.
holy
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he should
And
have
I-
been. He should have not have been wearing white pants. To quote Negan
Right.
from Walking Dead, he should have been wearing
Yeah.
his shitting pants,
he's-
without a doubt.
And I want that moment where Thrawn thinks he has it, and at the very end, yeah, Luke comes in with that X-wing again, right? And then you just go, and then you just see the Imperials just
Yeah,
in terror, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's his name? Skywalker.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah,
I
that moment.
Exactly.
have to go to the bathroom, and then you see him. Okay, you hear like the wheels.
Pitter-patter.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, I think Andor is a great sign that people are ready, because I was expecting a lot more hate for Benjamin Bratt. And there was a little bit of that, like, how are you recasting this character? How Bail Organa has
Right.
been the same for 20 years. The dude's still seemingly
Alive.
good to go on that
Yeah.
character. We saw him in Obi-Wan.
Right.
He's around. He's still willing and able, seemingly. But
Yeah.
you know, so it was a confusing one when they announced that casting, and then they did. I thought a perfect Iron Man 2 of
Yeah.
sneaking him into that like 12 seconds of an episode for the first bit of like, hey, I'm here, enjoy the party, see you next time. And we
Yeah.
see him in these
Yeah.
episodes, and he's here. He's making speeches, he's doing things, he's being a foil to Andor. And it's just like, okay, we see, we accept it. He's a great actor. He's doing the character justice.
Yeah.
It turned out it was something as boring as a scheduling conflict, and they just had to find someone else to do it.
Right.
And Benjamin Bratt was able to step in.
Nailed
and,
it. Did a great
and
job
nailed
with
it.
what he
Did
had.
his
Yeah.
own little bit of
You
a
can't-
spin, but kind
So,
of still
yeah.
captured the feel.
It's a matter of letting go of an actor and remembering that we're talking about characters. And if you think about them in that strictest sense of a character in prose, a character in a comic book, whatever it is, they are what you need them to be, but they are not a person. They're a character. And it's an actor portraying that role, and open yourself up to that. And there's so much more to discover. So,
and I will say one thing, a lot of the argument for Sebastian Stan, and I would love him as Luke, don't get me wrong when I say this, a lot of the argument for Sebastian Stan is a side-by-side with he and Mark Hamill
right.
in their primes, kind of like dressed up, and it's the same face, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Benjamin Bratt as Bail Organa shows that it doesn't have to be a lookalike.
Right.
Sure.
So if they find the right person to embody Luke Skywalker, whether it was one of the fill-in guys, because I think Mark Hamill said like one of the fill-in guys, the body doubles for Mandalorian, like could be Luke. He was like, this dude has my blessing. He's got the moves. He's got the chops. He could do it. They're just, for whatever reason, they want to still use my face and my mannerisms and my voice. But even like if it's that guy, if it's some unknown who's just like got the vibes of Luke in Battlefront, Luke in The Mandalorian, like that level of like, I'm ready to go. I am the Jedi Luke Skywalker. Let's go. Like, I don't really care who they cast. You know what I mean? Like at that point, Sebastian Stan would be amazing. But if it's like Johnny McDonald, who just has the aura
Johnny from McDonald's. I like it. Yeah.
Like I just I'm kind of ready to go. I do have one final thought on this one before we very quickly move on.
All right.
I'm curious if, just because Disney is Disney, will we see, you know, if they have something planned? Obviously we don't know anything about the script, but if they had something planned where Rey needs to commune with a Force ghost and she was looking for Luke, do you think there's a chance to bring Hayden back into a movie as a Force ghost and 100%. Say like, hey, I was chilling with Ahsoka. I'm not doing anything now. Hey, Rey, I'm here to train you. I'm here to do this. I'm here to his
presence will be a part of Ahsoka season 2. That's established. So I think he's in.
He's back in. He's back in, and now that the audience loves him, he's signed him back up.
It's kind of what I'm thinking. All right, let's move on to Andor. We've got 3 episodes to talk. Charlie, you want to run us down with the 3 episodes? We can, if you guys want to, if we feel like we have to break them down episode by episode, we can do that after Charlie reads the descriptions, or we can kind of talk about them in a chunk. What do you?
Go ahead, please.
I think let's do 7 and 8 together, because I think they
makes sense.
They're pretty much one big thing.
Yes, correct.
And then 9 is its own separate thing. And I think we can talk both like that.
Well, let's do it.
I like it.
Number 7, Messenger. Janice Metz handling the directing with a scripting by Dan Gilroy from May 6th of 2025. Another year has passed and the rebels have begun coordinating military operations on Yavin, where Cassian and Bix now live. Will tells them that Dedra is on Gorman, whose rebel activities have been portrayed by state-sponsored media as terrorist campaigns instigated by outside agitators. And encourages Cassian to help assassinate her. Despite his concerns over the mission and being from Luthen, who he's not vibing with these days, Cassian agrees and travels with Wilman to Gorman. Bix is told by a Force healer that Cassian will be vital to the rebellion. On Gorman, Dedra finds her position temporarily supplanted by Captain Kaido, sent by Partagas to oversee the Imperial subjugation of the planet, while Cyril begins to doubt Dedra's explanation of outside agitators, given his interaction with the rebels. So seeds are being sown. All right, quick summary, and then we'll move into the big discussion. Number 8, who are you? Janice Metz, Dan Gilroy again. Same day, May 6th. Cato investigates a protest in Palmo's Central Square while closing down available exits and intentionally deploys inexperienced riot police into a volatile crowd. Oh my God, it's so bad. Arriving in the square alongside the protesters, Cyril realizes his role in enabling the Empire, what the Empire is doing, and violently confronts Dedra in her office, forcing her to tell him the truth about the Empire's intentions on Gorman before he storms out. Following a directive from Partagas, Dedra reluctantly orders an Imperial sniper to open fire on a member of the riot police unit, which triggers, so shooting their own people, awesome, which triggers a shootout between the rebels and the Imperial forces. My God. The protesters attempt to flee and are massacred either by the Imperial blaster fire or by the KX security droids deployed by Cato. Amidst the chaos, a dazed Cyril wanders into the square while Cassian attempts to pick off Dedra by sniping her through the office window, which he has like 5 opportunities and never works out, which is maddening. The two encounter each other and have one of the most kick-ass fights I've seen in a long time, where Cyril gains the upper hand but is fatally shot by Carol Rhinelands, one of the Gorman rebel leaders. I get all those French Gorman leaders I got mixed up at some point. The Resistance manages to incapacitate a KX enforcer droid by ramming it in half with an armored transport, which was pretty sweet. Cassian escapes Gorman with the droid while Willman stays to fight and aid his Gorman girlfriend Drina in a broadcast of the news of the galaxy. In the aftermath, Dedra and Edie separately confront their losses as Imperial news outlets place blame on the outside rebel agitators. And if this doesn't hurt as bad as it possibly could because of what is happening in this country right now, I don't know what could. My God. I was just to paint a picture, I was out of town at a training here in Michigan, but I was staying in a hotel. And the previous week, I had not made it through the previous episodes because I was elsewhere in a hotel and fell asleep. I didn't blink watching these 3 episodes. I was so tuned in. I've never been so hyper-focused on any piece of entertainment I've ever watched in my life as I was watching this. I was blown away. I was absolutely blown away.
Yep. Joe, kick us off. What are your thoughts on these 2 episodes?
I mean, like, episode 7 is the build up to episode 8, and that I found, I mean, the summary kicks it off. It is, it's what is it? Like, Daedra says something early on in the series of, like, you need a good rebellion that you can trust to do the wrong thing at the right time.
Right.
And, it's this thing that they have been doing, and you can see that this is the right rebellion to do the wrong thing, because the first mission that they go on goes awry and they kill a good soldier by accident because they don't listen. Right. And so you have this inexperienced and now cocky rebellion thinking they can really do something here, while now you have the Imperials that have they have put this platoon in here to die. Right? Mm-hmm. They're inexperienced. Yeah. They don't know anything, and they have their own guy fire on this guy because how this system works is everybody knows pieces of the truth and not the whole truth. And, the more truth you get is the more powerful you become in that line, in that system. But even then, you're in the dark. It's brilliant and terrifying how this system just churns out and how accurate. And this is what I love about Andor, is that the Imperials are absolutely terrifying. They're not idiots. They're not just cocky, D-bags. They're manipulating. They are terrifying, and they're efficient at what they do. And you see it in full display here. Now, episode 7, though there is a lot of build up in this episode, you do get a couple of things. Bix comes to this realization when they're at this force healer, because in the beginning of the episode, Andor has this blaster burn on his shoulder that just won't go away, and they're going to go to this healer. Now, he's very reluctant. She kind of forces him, and the healer kind of is taken aback by him, and is just thanks him because she already knows the sacrifice he's going to give. Right. And I think Bix kind of reads on that too, to an extent, where she comes to the realization, oh, I'm just going to distract him, and he's not going to make the right call if I'm here. Yeah. I need to go. And so the way I read into the art is that she knows that she is just a distraction for him. She needs to just go. While now that she's gone and he goes to the same hotel with the same guy that checks him in the first time, or brings him to his room. A
sympathizer. Yeah.
And you could tell that this guy, he knows who Cassian is. And he knows he's lying to him. And he tells him, listen, we have to check in with the Imperials if you do this, that, and the other thing. If you're staying here. And he's like, yeah, no worries. Because his whole plan is, listen, I'm going to kill Dedra for killing my friends. She is the true mastermind, of which she is. She is the real villain of this show, or at least the front facing. Right. And I think what's brilliant is I don't know if it's in episode 7 or 8 because I watched them continuously. I could not
Yeah,
stop.
I know.
But when he walks out of the hotel, he kind of thanks him. He goes, rebellions are built off hope.
Right.
That's an
And
8.
Yeah.
oh, that's an 8. Yeah. And so
Yeah.
like you get that. Oh shit. Right. Like this is how he throws it back to what's her face. So it's like you get this like coming this moment, this full circle moment that just feels so rewarding. So like, yeah, episode 7 is a great time. Episode 8 though, if I
yeah.
may continue this tangent,
yeah.
Please. Yes.
is legitimately the greatest piece of TV I've ever seen and have ever felt, and that has made me cry at the end
Yeah.
for all the feelings just all at once, because there's so much heartbreak, there's so much sadness, and there's parallels to real life as well. But then at like the briefest second where you think it's so hopeless, spark of hope, because rebellions are built off of it.
Right.
And so like that bit of hope, just holy shit, it's a powder keg, and you're seeing it slowly intensify. You're seeing what an actual protest that turns violent feels like, looks like, and how desperate it all is when it all goes down. And again, that goes back to how the Empire just uses and throws people into this meat grinder because they don't care.
There's
right?
always going to be somebody else. It's always a bigger fish. And
Yeah.
you can always throw more, chum into the water for the shark.
And I gotta congratulate the Andor writers and directors and everybody here, because they did such a good job of just a little bit more, just a little bit more. And when it's an explosion, it's not like this rewarding feeling.
Yeah.
It's just pure chaos and mayhem. And Cyril coming to the realization of what he's actually been doing this whole time, because all he is just what he is. He is the typical, no shade if you're still listening to him, right? I'm not here to judge you.
No one.
But I'm
no
here
one
to judge you. I'm going to throw.
No one here
at you.
does. No one
He's
here
the
does.
typical Joe Rogan listener.
Yeah.
He's the guy that wants to be the alpha male. He's the guy that wants to be the genius in the room.
I want to be a part of things. I'm the guy.
He can't tell that he is being played.
Yeah.
Constantly. This girl doesn't really love him. They don't really respect him. All this stuff.
Right.
And like, dude, like when the guy's shaking him, it's like, you've killed us all or whatever. He's like, you know what you've done. He comes to this realization.
And he has this violent outburst where he just has to throw the guy in the street because he's so frustrated, because he knows that this guy is saying, what is it? What have you come here to steal from us? That was the line that landed with me.
Yes.
That this guy said, why are you? Yeah, exactly. So, it's like Greenland. Basically, Gorman is Greenland right now. Like, oh, well, we want Greenland so bad because of all of the precious minerals. That's what want to be stolen.
On a further back perspective, I love the way that they present Cyril in this, because you expect him, following from Andor season 1. When you see a villain like that, or an antagonist like that, you expect him to be written to climb through the ranks, right?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be going toe to toe, at least in most shows. He would be going toe to toe with Cassian. As Cassian begrudgingly rises up through the ranks, you would think this guy's rising up through the Empire
his arch nemesis.
Done.
Right.
But the writers for Andor are so brilliant that they have made Cassian begrudgingly rise through the ranks when he doesn't want to, and they've kept Cyril down, showing that he's just being used, manipulated, and that's what he wants in the whole wide world, and it's the least thing Cassian wants. And they've gone from Cyril just completely being used to Cassian being this leader, this beacon, this hope.
Right. Because
so important.
People who desire, this is what I've learned in my lifetime, and again, people who are so lustful for power are the people who are least qualified to have it. You know what I mean? Because he wanted so bad, but you're not a leader, and you have no empathy, and you don't care about people. Yeah.
And we see that so beautifully come to a head as he and Cassian fight. And for him, it's all this frustration of the last, 5 years at this point? 6 years, whatever it was, of chasing Cassian and trying to do this and trying to for the Empire, and I'm doing all this, and I'm the top secret undercover guy. I'm the king shit, and you can walk in my shoes and whatever.
Mhm.
And he's bringing all of that to Cassian, and for Cassian, it's just like some jackass in a bar that's trying to fight me, and I'm just gonna like keep going because I have a bigger calling in the rebellion.
Right.
And it comes to a head with the "Who are you?" question.
And
that's
that
just
that it was as if you saw Cyril's spirit fly out of his body, and it like he just was existing in a spot where he had no senses, and that left him completely vulnerable to his fate.
And that Cyril's fate is, goddamn, he's like, it's so, first off, well deserved, earned, and like, you know, that whole coming, like him shaking Daedra, he like what am I really doing here? And her telling her like him like, stay in this building. Like, she does love him, but it's a twisted feel like type of love.
Yeah, as much as she's capable outside of her job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so like she's like, you got to stay here because the only thing that she actually holds a value is him.
Yeah.
And so like him leaving him and forsaking her, even then she's like, you stupid idiot. Like at the end of it, she's shaken up and she's worried, don't get me wrong, but she gets over it pretty quick.
Yeah.
And when he's out in the middle of the square and just seeing the chaos unfold, seeing the K2 units being used, holy they're just tossing people.
To me, it's scarier than any Terminator robot could ever be, or any Predator.
It was amazing.
These 10-foot tall robots, just wordless, faceless, just flinging people like 50,
they were 50 yards
in
the air,
pieces of paper. The one girl he picks up and throws, and you just hear her spine snap. She hits the ground. She rolls over with her dead eyes. My God, it's just the casual violence of a robot, and you could tell
that's Caro's daughter, right?
Yeah,
like that's a big hit.
Yeah, exactly.
And
you watch all of them fall in that way.
And then when you see that fight and Cassian's taken aback, and like Cyril is about to win, he's about to shoot Andor, and when he's like, "Who are you?" It is that moment of like, "I've been chasing you for years."
And you don't
what do
even
you mean?
Yeah, you don't.
He's about to have the monologue, and even that moment of like when he actually has the ability to take something he wants, bam, shot, dead.
Yeah, he's
fate is so deserved.
That is the will of the Force, for lack of a show that has very little to do with that. Yeah, that's exactly what this is. Oh, all right. We got to wrap this up. Let's jump in.
I do have one last thing on these.
Yes,
episodes,
please. And one last thing as well. I want to say, I'm so sorry, but yeah.
So now, first watch. You think the healer is reaching for Bix's hand. Watching this after the season finale, you realize they're clearly framing it up in a very different way. Spoilers: if someone's following along with this podcast and hasn't seen the finale, skip the next 30 seconds. Clearly showing that Bix is pregnant at that moment.
Okay. Didn't grab it.
You know, very, very. It's still subtle, but it's very clearly because she's obviously pregnant at this point. It's Cassian's baby, and she leaves in the next episode,
right?
Or this episode, whatever.
Yeah,
it was.
this one. Yeah, number 8.
So it's literally like she's saying like.
And the one thing that I do want to say, like how he gets K2, and you're seeing him chase after him. K2 gets run over. That the one scene of the woman pleading, she's like, they're killing us all, they don't care, this is a genocide, this is a genocide, this is like they're killing us all, they're killing, and then like it's all hope, it's all, I'm sorry, like the hope's all gone, and then she finds Will, and then you're like, cool,
right,
this show is incredible.
I know.
That's when I started crying.
so much
all right, now to episode 9. Let's do it. Let's talk about
episode 9
very quickly before we move on.
All right.
Sorry, one last thing. How do we feel about them not sticking to canon with K2's reprogramming? Because they've written that into a canon comic. Does anyone care?
It's easy to resolve. I don't care, but it's easy to resolve. In a video I saw, was either the ones that I pay attention to are Screen Crush and New Rock Stars. One of the two of those guys said, what you saw in the comic, Republic propaganda. It was a story that was told.
I love it.
It was a story that was told, and therefore it became a comic. So it's not real.
Perfect.
But it's a tale. So all right, episode 9.
Okay.
We got to wrap this up. Welcome to the Rebellion. Same creative team as before. Same night. In the aftermath of the Gorman massacre, the Empire frames the incident as an insurrection. Sound familiar yet? Mothma decides now's the time to openly condemn the Emperor and prepares to flee to Yavin. Senator Bail Organa chooses to stay behind and aid the rebellion in secret. Luthen learns from Jung that Bail's security team is compromised and assigns Cassian to help Mothma escape Coruscant. Meanwhile, Luthen clashes with Mothma over the depth of his subterfuge within the rebellion and his choice to have Tay killed, which happened earlier in the season. With Bail's help, Mothma takes the floor of the Senate to powerfully condemn Palpatine and the Empire's manipulation of the truth. Cassian aids Mothma's escape after her Senate speech, killing the spy and Bail's security team and terminating Mothma's ISB-planted driver, Chloris. Mothma temporarily stays in the safe house on Coruscant to publicly position herself with the rebellion. Cassian accompanies the injured woman back to Yavin 4, disturbed by recent events. Cassian decides to renew his life with Bix, but she has departed during the night, leaving Cassian with a message that implores him to stay with the rebellion and help them win, and that she will find him once the revolt has succeeded. Sniff. Later, technicians have reprogrammed K2SO, the stolen KX droid, to serve the rebellion, and he's more polite than C-3PO could ever be. I loved it. Can you please not point that gun at me? But he did say please, I think.
Fantastic.
Would you mind? Would you mind not pointing that at me? He said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for this one, for me, it comes down to Mon Mothma just being an absolute legend.
Yeah.
And again, to the point of how good these writers are, creating tension purely with two characters that we know get through this.
Right.
Yep.
And that we see in things that happen in the future. But you're still watching like, oh my God, are they going to escape this building? It's like, yeah, it's Mon Mothma and Cassian Andor. Yeah, they escape the building. We know exactly what happens.
Yeah.
Stop being dumb, but you're watching it and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a testament to how good the writing is and how good, not just the writing, but the filming and framing of everything and the acting, because you are tense and on the edge of your seat, again, with two characters that we know how their story goes. Like it's wild. Joe, what are your thoughts on this one?
If I may just read one excerpt.
Please.
The death of truth is the ultimate victory of evil. When the truth leaves us, when we let it slip away, when it's ripped from our hands, we become vulnerable to the appetite of whatever monster screams the loudest.
Oh, God.
And that monster screaming the loudest, the monster that we helped create, the monster who will come for us all soon enough, is Emperor Palpatine. My goodness gracious, if that speech, I love it because before this episode even aired, they're like, we just so you know, we shot and wrote this way before whoever won an election. So,
happens to be doing exactly all these exact same things to our country right now.
Yeah,
same shit. Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, they had their crystal ball, and the parallels to our life right now here in the United States scare me shitless. This is terrifying. And that's why it was impossible to even blink my eyes.
Yeah.
Listening to this.
I love this episode because they do such a great job of building tension. First off, Luthen, we understand how much of a shady character he is, but like her not being able to trust him because he's Luthen, but I know he's playing me. I know I'm a pawn in his game somewhere. I also trust my friend, but I also know Luthen gets results. It's like a really good conundrum that she's in. And when her and Andor meet, right? And you're like, I have friends everywhere. It's that moment. It's like, I think I could trust this man.
Yeah.
This episode is so tense. It is so good for that speech alone. And just simply how they're getting out of it and the chase, and even just how the Empire again effectively manipulates situations and people, no matter how safe those people think they are.
Yeah.
how they're able to just insidiously get in there. It's so this show does such a good job where, uh was it Gilroy? He said he never wanted to show the Emperor, he never wanted to show Vader, but he
Yeah.
always wanted the presence of Sidious to always be there.
Yeah.
This episode is 100% that that's what he was trying to go for.
Yeah.
This episode is incredible.
Oh my
Just
God.
no notes.
This block of episodes, without a doubt, was the most powerful of the show, of this franchise, of almost any television I've ever seen.
Well, episode 11 to me is like right up there too.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
yeah.
But
it was
for
just
sure.
I think I'm otherwise left without words. I did. I think the next morning before I had to start my day, I watched the episode of Star Wars Rebels that corresponds to this, that shows Mothma's actual
I watched
escape.
that immediately after.
Yeah.
I continued it on.
That's awesome.
Which so I wanted to ask you guys about that, because the speech is incredible, especially in the ways that it parallels what's going on in your country right now, and kind of the world in general in a broader sense. But again, it's we see these two episodes back to back that are challenging or bending or completely throwing away canon. Did it ever hit you guys in a way of like, why is Mon doing two speeches? Like, did that ever catch you off, or are you just enjoying this and it's like, it makes sense because they said like it got cut off in the broadcast?
I did.
Is that enough?
Yeah, I did. And then they made the nice spin and they kind of tied this back to Rebels. In a lot of cases in Rebels, they would have, here's an Imperial broadcast of Palpatine speaking, and he has a fake appearance because he's AI. So, I think it could be that, or it could be, I mean, let's put it right back to the spin of, how Andor met K2, you know what I mean? That it's a different spin on it. But yeah, it doesn't, it didn't hamstring anything that Gilroy was able to do in writing this episode, which produced one of the most, irrelevant for all time concepts of what Mon has to say, and particularly, stinging for what we're living through right now here in the USA. Oh gosh. Wow.
We're just lucky that he's not. We're lucky that the machine isn't efficient. That's all I could say.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good place to end this. Joe.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.
This has been phenomenal.
Missed you, friend. Missed you. We got to have you back on the reg. On the reg.
Can we not do this every 4 years? I think is only a year tops.
Yeah.
Let's make
absolutely.
Yeah, I think
absolutely.
Let's make that a more regular thing for sure. Joe, please tell people where they can follow you, where they can find you, where they can listen to the stuff that you do or watch the things that you put out.
When's this episode going live?
Wednesday.
Okay, Wednesday. All right, cool. I haven't gone on Summer Games Fest yet. Hey, gang, listen, if you liked my voice, and I don't know why you wouldn't, you can head on over to The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast where me, my best friend Kyle, our good friend Light, talk about the latest and greatest in all things PlayStation each and every, usually Thursday, but this week, Wednesday. You know what? Who cares? Each and every Thursday, you can watch the show as it goes live, Wednesday night as it goes live, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or on podcast services, wherever you get your podcast service of choice, with it, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, whatever have you, every Thursday. This week, we're heading off to Summer Game Fest. And we're not just talking about PlayStation. It's a whole bunch of games. We have literally, between the three of us, 20 appointments, 3 of which, if I talk about them, they'll shoot me twice in the back of the head. Jeff Keighley said it.
Shoot.
No, he said he'll do it. He said he'd do it. He's got soft hands. I believe him. And so make sure you check next week's episode in particular, because we are talking about a whole bunch of really cool games that we played.
Oh, wow.
Really
awesome.
Cool.
How cool. Mark, what about you?
You can find me usually on, especially, I'll say Instagram is my main go-to. You can find me there at Canardian_Jedi.
Nice.
Hell yes.
Good deal. And I am on what I consider to be the big three: Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. I am at the C3, TheCeeThree. I do love to spend a ton of time on our Secret Friends Unite Discord. It's the most fun Discord in the world. Don't look it up. But we're having all the fun discussions there. We'd love to have you on board. If you don't find us on Discord, drop any of us a DM. We will send you a shiny invitation and get you in there. But with that, friends, thank you for joining us. I will tell you that sharing is caring, and to keep on trucking.
May the force be with you. Rex, play us out.